Chapter 115. Suffer death, demon. Wanyu, military matters. No wantonness. King Shenwu frowned. What licentiousness? You think I'll lose if I lead the army in battle? Can't be competent in the 6th Legion. Long Wanyu instantly glared and shouted. The Divine Martial King was slightly stunned. On the side, Sima Changkong faintly burst into bitter laughter. How could Long Wanyu lose when she was leading the troops? She's a prophet, tends to good fortune and avoid bad luck. Where good fortune, where bad, she can see it at a glance. In terms of leading an army to fight, perhaps no one can really compare to her. The saint had explained that he would not allow anything to happen to you. Divine Martial King said in a deep voice. What would happen to me? When the general is out, the king's orders are not to be taken. What's wrong with asking you for one army? I can turn around and defeat 10 enemy armies. Long Wanyu defended. Long Wanyu's unrelenting vigor caused Divine Martial King to frown deeply. In terms of seniority, Long Wanyu is her own junior. Here in the camp, she's the biggest. It is not her turn to be reckless in front of her. However, Long Wanyu is favored by His Majesty. Favor to their own princes in the heart of the status of the saints are not as good as Long Wanyu. Sacred heart in the grip. No matter how capricious, they cannot take her. How about this? I'll reallocate a legion to you. Divine Martial King frowned. No, I want the 6th Legion. Long Wanyu instantly refused. Long Shenwu was a little displeased. After all, this was a military camp. One could not be led by a little girl. Otherwise, how could one convince the public? King Shenwu turned his head towards Gu Heidao. Mr. Gu, what do you think? On the side, Gao Xianzi frowned deeply, seemingly unwillingly, obviously seeing that Long Wanyu was here to stir up trouble for himself, but no one could do anything about it. Just as what Master Liu Nian said, without Long Wanyu, no one can suppress her anger. Gu Hai looked at Long Wanyu with the same look, obviously. For Long Wanyu's current temper, Gu Hai was also quite unhappy, but who let her be one king's sister? Before Wan Qing died, what she couldn't let go of was Long Wanyu, and entrusted herself to take care of her. Such a temperament, such an unruly capriciousness, must give her a good lesson. Take care, not just indulge, also need to teach her how to behave. Gu Hai looked at Long Wanyu and said with a slight smile, Long Wanyu, you want to take over the 6th Legion. Is it because of me? Long Wanyu crossed Gu Hai's eyes and said, HMPH, Gu Hai, I, Long Wanyu, I am not a person who doesn't count on his words. When I first said, you commit Horikiri, you and I grudges cancelled out. I won't use my sister's death to entangle with you again. Wanting the 6th Legion is my business. Don't stick gold on your face. I'm trying to say, you want to lead an army. There's still a lack. Gu Hai laughed. What lack? Gu Hai. Just you can lead an army. Just your subordinates can lead an army. I can't. If I lead the army, I'm sure to win every battle. Are you better than me? Long Wanyu was instantly furious. To be a commander, you need to be immovable in the 8 winds, set the sky and the earth, and won't be affected by any interfering factors that affect your state of mind and destroy your thoughts. Can you do that? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. HMPH. What bullshit state of mind? What disturbing factors? Any disturbing factor can't disturb me, because I know where I can win and where I can lose. I am the 8 winds that do not move, and I am the one who fixes the dry land. Long Wanyu said with a confident face. Regardless of how the outside world interferes, Long Wanyu knows where is the great fortune and where is the great misfortune. This is the terrifying ability of a prophet. How can it be interfered? Why don't we do a test to see if you are the 8 winds of immobility? If you really have a handsome talent, the 8 winds of immobility, the 6th Army Corps, so what if I give it to you? Gu Hai laughed. Good, you said it. Long Wanyu's eyes glared, revealing a hint of mockery. Long Wen Yu had come specifically to target Gu Hai. Naturally, she didn't care about other people's opinions. As long as she could taunt Gu Hai, Long Wen Yu naturally answered immediately. Instead, Gu Hai looked towards the Divine Martial King and said, "Grand Marshal, I'm overstepping my bounds. Please ask the 6th Legion to make a bet between me and Long Wen Yu. There's no harm in that, Mr. Gu. Feel free to do as you please." Divine Martial King smiled faintly. Long Wen Yu, this hot potato. Since Gu Hai wanted to take the next step himself, then you go ahead and take it. But Divine Martial King was happy to see the two at each other's throats. You tell me how to test it. Long Wen Yu glared at Gu Hai. Gu Hai smiled slightly and said, "In the midst of marching and fighting, you will often encounter zither masters playing music to interfere with the commander-in-chief. In this way, I'll let Gu Chen sing you a song. Without using the zither Dao meaning, just an ordinary song. If you can listen to it in its entirety and remain open to it, then even if you win, without using the Qingdao realm." Long Wen Yu frowned. "Not bad. Not using the Qingdao realm, just an ordinary song." Gu Hai nodded. "HMPH. You think a song can disturb me? You underestimate me too much. Come on. Sing it. Come on." Long Wen Yu instantly said proudly. "Hook Chen," Gu Hai called out. "Hula, hula, oh, oh." Gu Chen was still licking the plate. Gu Hai let out a soft shout, and the hall full of officials turned their heads together to look, just in time to see the scene of Gu Chen's ferocious fight. Everyone's face froze. This was an eater. Is it really a heavenly level kin? "Huh, master, you called me." Gu Chen held his plate with a face of reluctance. "Immediately ask you to sing a song," Gu Hai called out. "What, really?" Gu Chen, however, had a steep face of surprise and instantly dropped the plate and wiped his face clean. A group of officials long breath. This is the attitude that the heavenly level king should have, should be addicted to music as obsessive only right. "Yes, it's the song you composed. Take a longer one and sing it to Long Wen Yu." Gu Hai nodded. "Ah, only for Long Wen Yu to listen to, or can't other people listen to it?" Gu Chen said with a look of pity. "Mr. Gu, why can't we listen together?" "Yes, Mr. Gu, the musical power of the heavenly grade zither. We've all been looking forward to it for a long time. Mr. Gu, why don't we listen together with Long Wen Yu?" The crowd of officials were in the midst of anticipation. Gu Hai blackened his face, but hardened his heart and shook his head. "Only for Long Wen Yu to listen. Others, including me, set up a sound barrier." As Gu Hai opened his mouth, a group of officials looked at Gu Hai with regret and some grudges. Gu Hai turned his face away, not looking at the faces of the crowd of officials. "I'm doing this for your own good. Otherwise, what you all ate just now would have been wasted." "All right, forget it. Just sing." Gu Chen stepped and stood up. On the side, when Gao Xianzi saw Gu Chen stepping, his face abruptly changed and he hastily retreated to the side. Not far away, Sima Changkong and Divine Martial King had been paying attention to Gao Xianzi. At this moment, seeing Gao Xianzi look at Gu Chen and even reveal a hint of panic, suddenly the two of them were puzzled for a while. Perhaps this Gao Xianzi wasn't as powerful as he imagined, and at least didn't show his joy and anger. Not only Gao Xianzi, Mu Chunfeng and Master Liu Nian all changed their faces. Grandmaster Liu Nian looked at Long Wen Yu. A trace of pity flashed in his eyes, but Grandmaster Liu Nian did not say anything. "Sing." Long Wen Yu had a disdainful look on her face. How influential could a song without a Qingdao meaning be? With a wave of Gu Chen's probing hand, everyone in the Great Hall added a sound barrier. As Gu Chen began to sing, everyone stared wide-eyed even though they couldn't hear the sound. Worthy of being a celestial level kin. With that mouth, the emotions are to the extreme. Look at Gu Chen, one hand covering his chest, one hand waving, facial intoxication. This is definitely an emotional song. It's a pity. I hate not being able to listen to it once. Many officials whispered in anticipation. The first line of Gu Chen's song was sung. Long Yu's disdainful face steeply changed into an incomparable splendor. In that instant, it was as if his eyes were going to protrude out. His face was red for a while, white for a while, green for a while, and purple for a while. Magic sound, oh! How could there be such an unpleasant song in the world? At this moment, the divine martial king and Sima Changkong were slightly stunned. Why did Long Yu have this expression? Isn't there no Qindao meaning? On the side, Master Liu Nian stroked his bald head and covered his face. It's true. Gu Chen's magic sound began to wash the brain. Gao Xianzi, Mu Chunfeng long breath, a good burst of celebration in general, followed by a weird smile on their faces. They were going to break down in the first place, but also let Long Yu try. Gu Hai sipped his fine wine and revealed a smile. A group of officials were in the middle of praising Gu Chen. Gu Chen had already sung the third line. His right hand was replaced by his left hand covering his chest, and his eyes contained a hint of tears that were moved by himself. That into the intoxication strength. See the heart of a group of officials. Straight itch. What a good song, ah! Why Gu Hai not let me listen? Long Yu's face is already red, eyes are already covered with blood, fists clenched to death. The long whip grasped on the right hand, a pinch to emit the sound of cackling. His body is trembling, turning his head to look at Gu Hai. But he saw Gu Hai raising his cup and smiling slightly. Is this mocking himself for not being able to listen? No, I will be able to listen to it. I will be able to, not letting this villain Gu Hai get away with it. When Gu Chen sang the fifth line, "Demon, suffer death," Long Yu steeply bellowed. With a fierce whip, she blasted towards Gu Chen. The sudden change suddenly startled the officials all over the hall with wide eyes. How many situations? How did Long Yu storm off? Ah, don't. Gu Chen instantly jumped up with a shriek. Snap! Gu Chen was still sent flying by Long Yu's whip. Master, save me, suffer death, demon. Long Yu grabbed the whip and suddenly chased it all over the hall. It immediately kicked over a large number of wine tables along the way. A large number of officials who revealed shocked colors backed away. A good wine banquet was turned upside down by the duo. King Shenwu had a black face. Sima Changkong was slightly stunned. What happened to Gu Chen's song? Demon, don't run, suffer death. You suffer death. Long Yu roared and chased after him. Master, help, help. Gu Chen poofed and jumped behind Gu Hai. Pa! A whip came, but it was suddenly grabbed by Gu Hai with one hand. Gu Hai, let go. I'm going to kill this demon. I'll kill him if I have to. Long Yu instantly roared. Long Yu, you've lost. Gu Hai laughed slightly. Long Yu's figure lurched. Only then did she remember that she was still betting with Gu Hai. But Gu Chen's song was so hard to listen to, so hard that she stormed out. She couldn't remember anything just now. She only remembered that she wanted to destroy this demon. Gu Hai actually bet with me on this unpleasant singing voice. It's so unpleasant, and you want me to listen to it. He killed my sister, and I'm not even pursuing him anymore, and he's still giving me that awful song to listen to. And he said I lost. A great grievance suddenly filled her heart. Long Yu's eyes reddened all of a sudden. You bullied me. Ooh. Long Yu cracked the whip and ran out of the hall all of a sudden, leaving behind a hall full of bewildered officials and a more aggrieved Gu Chen than Long Yu.